it's funny as you get older how you look at movies different.
How do you mean?
So like Big, I'm sitting here going, it's like, aw, and then it's like, wait a minute, he just fucked his life up at 12 because what they didn't ask for his social when he rented that big ass apartment. And they paid rent all at once in one day.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
That's why you can't watch certain movies when you get older, because then you start like asking all the questions that you have to suspend your disbelief for. Mm-hmm. Like me watching, hey everyone, like me watching Cellular with Chris Evans. I'm like, so he just gonna run around LA and not get arrested? Right. Like the level of the suspension of disbelief you have to have for some movies back in the day. You're just like, wait, this would never work.
Right. I think I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I was like, wait a minute. So his parents were just supposed to buy the kidnappers were letting him write a letter saying, "Oh no, it's like camp. We're fine. I'm good. See you in a month." And they weren't gonna like go to the cops and be like, "Hey," and they went to the post office. We're like, "Oh, it came from this post office. Oh, let's run the cameras. Oh, look, there's this old looking dude who just put it in the thing."
Right.
I can't. I love the movie. I still love Big. One of my favorite movies of all time. However.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why you can't watch certain movies. Because your brain, like simple kids movies, like that's one of the reasons I couldn't stand Frozen. Please don't hate me for that. I couldn't stand Frozen because it's like, okay, where did this kid come from? Wait, no, there's too much that's not being. It's like it's too much that's not being explained here. So how's everyone doing? So this week has been crazy. That's why I couldn't give you guys a face today. Giving you natural hair, but I couldn't put on a face today. I have been so low energy this week. It might just be the shift from Taurus to Gemini season. I'm not entirely sure, but going back to the room. But my energy has been so low this week. It's the lowest it's been, I think, since quarantine started. And I couldn't focus when I was supposed to be focusing on work. I had all these things that I wanted to do during the day. Like I wanted to do certain things during my lunch break, and I just couldn't because my energy was so low. I even tried to take naps, and that didn't even work. I just couldn't fall asleep. So I hope everybody has been doing better than me in that aspect. I do have a few things I want to touch on before we get into the good for the live. This live might not be as long as the others, but we will see. I know AJ's planning on joining us, so just not sure what time. So yeah, so real quickly before I dive into everything, how has everybody's week been? Has anybody else been feeling higher energy, lower energy, just maintaining? Okay. So the first thing that's been on my mind this week is this whole thing with JoJo Siwa, right? Yeah. So there's a video that I saw it on Twitter. It might have been elsewhere, where JoJo Siwa threw herself a JoJo Siwa themed party. And for some reason, that irritated people. Like not even in the way that you'd think it would irritate people, like, oh, she's a narcissist or anything. It was, why is she still acting like a kid? And the thing that bothers me about that is you have people who think you're supposed to act and be a certain way at a certain age. And it's like, there's a weird double standard where people want to infantilize young girls, and then people are out here on Twitter saying, I hope she's doing all of these inappropriate adult things. It's like, why can't you guys just let people be who they are? Why she's not be forced to act the way she does. That's probably her personality. And because you were forced to grow up at a early age or however you developed, you're jealous. There's this thing that I've noticed that if someone suffers, they want others to feel their pain. Like when people talk about the notion of forgiving student debt, it's like, oh, I had to pay thousands of dollars in debt. Everybody else should. I don't understand why you would want someone else to suffer. I think I've talked about that before. I can make a whole video about it, but it just bothers me that, let me move you guys closer. It just bothers me that people want to project the way that they were. Yeah, exactly. Just let her be 17. Whatever that 17 is to her. If she wants to be a 17-year-old wearing a high ponytail and a bow in her hair, if she wants to be an 18-year-old wearing a ponytail and a bow, I let her be. Stop wishing for all of this adult stuff to happen to her. Her image was, and then there was that thing where she did the wipe it down challenge on TikTok. And because she had her hair down, people were like, oh, now she's a power lesbian. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? She needed to look different for the challenge. She just put her hair down. I was here for it. And everybody, nothing in the, there's no reason for people to, I don't understand why people go with this kid as hard as they do. I never watched Dance Moms, but I'm like, just let her be who she is. It's, none of us can say, I can barely speak. Let's see. What else was on my mind? Oh, I tweeted about this earlier. I don't know how many people, I know there's the people who believe in ghosts, people who don't. As I've said in videos and have talked about often since restarting my channel, my mother passed away. But I've been feeling like she's been appearing in my dreams a lot more. And I feel like she's been sending me signs, if that makes any sense. Because there are songs that I'll sing or that I'll hear and I'll get chills. Or start getting really emotional. Not getting emotional now. But, and it's all been songs that are connected to my mom. Like, one Christmas, she said she didn't want anything. She didn't want any presents or anything. She wanted me to learn Let It Go from Frozen. Second time I've mentioned Frozen in this stream. But she wanted me to learn Let It Go and sing it to her for Christmas. And so I did. So now, that was actually, was it the last Christmas? Yeah, it's the last Christmas I had with her. So now every time I hear that song, and I haven't listened to it for a while because I couldn't, but then I started listening to it again, and same thing, chills, started crying. And it's been one after, it was Frozen. Then it was songs from Hairspray, because my mom loved Hairspray. That was one of her favorite movies. We saw it in the theater, and then she asked me to get it for her, the DVD. She asked me to get for her for Christmas. And we watched it Christmas Day. Not exactly a Christmas movie, but but like I'll randomly hear those songs, and then I'll keep hearing those songs. Like, I don't know, it's like sometimes they'll show up in my recommended, or if I have them on my Spotify playlist, they come up on shuffle, and they never come up on shuffle. So I'm like wondering what my mom's trying to say to me. But yeah. So today, I tweeted about it earlier. I started listening to a song that I haven't listened to in years. and almost started crying because it's White Limousine by Dolly Parton. I don't look like I listen to a lot of country, but I was actually raised on singing Dolly Parton, Patsy Cline, and Michael Jackson songs. So I started singing it, and then I looked it up on YouTube, and I started playing it. I've played it, I think, at least 4 times in a row. And all of the feelings I had when I used to sing that song when I was little came up. And I remember being in my mom's car because my mom and I drove everywhere together. And every time we were in the car, she would make me sing. Normally her favorite songs. And her favorite artists at the time were Patsy Cline and Dolly Parton. So I would sing, because we were in the car all the time, I would sing the Dolly Parton songs I heard. And this one was White Limousine. So I'm listening to it today, and the song is about a young girl who moves to Hollywood to become a movie star. And I haven't gone into detail about that. I think I should. But that's not why I moved out here this time. But but that was my dream when I was a young kid. So to listen to it now and realize that I'm closer than I was ever, because I grew up on the East Coast, and to hear it now and to out of the blue have the desire to hear that song, I'm like, kind of feel like that's my mom trying to remind me of what my dreams were, because I haven't been paying attention, and I have an entire video coming about that. So stay tuned. What else was on my mind today? Sorry if I seem a little spacey. I have been so tired this week. Like I said a little earlier, just my energy has been off. And I don't know if that is because of Aunt Flo. I don't know if that's just because everybody's sleep schedule has been up and down. And I'm just one that's joined the ranks of not being able to sleep anywhere close to all through the night. So if I see them a little spaced out, that's why. Like, this live probably won't be as long as my other ones, because I'm going to try to go to bed a little early. But, my Chris Evans series. So I started my Chris Evans More Than Marvel series with the first movie, which was Cellular. That was a fun movie to watch, fun video to make, and fun movie to review. And since then, I found where I was just scrolling through Twitter and somebody put up a clip, like a behind the scenes clip of Chris taking stunt driving lessons so he could do the driving in Cellular. I'm like, I wish I had seen that before I made my video so that I could put that little tidbit in my review, but you're gonna do. But it's weird. It's like I keep getting confirmation that this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I had to change up my schedule. I think I mentioned a little bit in the last video that because Snowpiercer, the TV series on TNT, just came out. Oh no, it's fine, Molly. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I literally almost just got started, so you're good. As I was saying, Snowpiercer, the series came out this past Sunday. So I decided to go ahead and watch the movie for the first time because I own the DVD, but I've never opened it. Partly because I've been so terrified by this movie, because people have tweeted since the director won for Parasite. It's the same director for both movies. And people went back and watched Snowpiercer and tweeted a lot about some of the scenes. And I'm like, I don't know if this is the type of dystopian future movie that I want to watch. But I went ahead and decided to make that the next movie I watch, so that, and I don't have TNT, I don't have cable, so I can't contrast and compare the series to the movie. But I am going to watch Snowpiercer and talk about it. And then it's on Apple Plus right now. The 7th episode of Defending Jacob was just released today. So next week is the finale. So what I plan on doing, since my home is equipped with Apple Plus, I will spend next week watching the series. I'm I don't even know how I'm going to do the video for that because there are 8-hour-long episodes and I don't want to make an hour-long video. I might have to, though. I might break it up into 2 parts. So, what's Snowpiercer about? Snowpiercer is about a world that's been devastated by climate change. Basically, the last people on Earth are all on a train, and it's basically a story of the haves and the have-nots. The haves, rich people, are in the front of the train, and the poverty-stricken people are at the back of the train. And I believe it's Chris Evans' character who starts a revolt. So, again, I don't know. That's one video. See, I'm worried that people won't want to watch that. Again, because the series with Chris Evans' movies is already long enough. Like, aside all of his movies outside of the MCU, there are 24 movies I counted. The only one that I'm leaving off of that list is TMNT. That was a CGI movie where Chris did a voice. He was the voice of Casey Jones. And I was like, I don't want to do that one. But yeah, I had a lot of friends actually tag me on that on Twitter, where it's like hashtag Chris Evans is over party. I really think people did that just to get something on trending because Chris has been laying low in quarantine. Like, he's been on Jimmy Fallon. He's done a few other things from his house, doing like Skype and Zoom calls and things. But I think somebody just like, oh, I finally got something on trending, because Chris is one of the most unproblematic people. So, like, there's nothing my unproblematic king could do to get canceled. So.
Okay.
Well, that's what I did with Cellular, and that's how I plan to do my reviews, is where instead of doing a play-by-play, even though I give you like a basic plot synopsis, I give you more of my reaction to the movie instead of this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. There's a little bit of that in my last one, because I noticed I did that with my Tiger King review, where I basically just talked through it, and there was very little of me saying my thoughts on what I thought the show was about. AJ's here. Let me move over so you can get comfortable.
Aww.
So I think the best thing I might just do, I might have to do 2 videos, because originally, if I was going to go in the chronological order of Chris's movies, Defending Jacob, I wouldn't reach until December or January. So.
Which movies did you talk about already?
Oh, well, I'm talking about my Chris series. I'm talking about how I don't know how I'm going to do a video for Defending Jacob, since since it's 8 episodes and not like a 2-hour movie. So
You saw Cellular,
mm-hmm.
sponsored by Verizon.
Nokia, actually.
Nokia. You saw Snowpiercer?
I haven't watched Snowpiercer yet, but I have to do my video for that this weekend.
Spoiler, it starts with him just trying to find the snack cart. And then the adventure just rolls on from there. Is that? Hi, Molly.
The adventure just rolls on from there.
Yeah, it's like a what's that guy who does the stolen movies, Taken movies?
Liam Neeson?
Yeah, it's a Liam Neeson film. It's like he went out for a Danish, and then all
really?
of us.
Danish?
Yeah, Danish.
Why would you do that to me?
They don't even know the story.
No, they don't, and they won't. Danish. I don't sit there and make fun of you when you mispronounce words, even though I didn't mispronounce that one. Don't look at me like that. Anyway, I love the Doctor Who getup we've got.
I figured that I was going to match her today. I saw she was wearing a Doctor Who shirt, so I figured I would get a little doctored up myself.
So, how has your week been? I talked a little bit earlier about how my energy has been up this. Well, that looks awesome on screen. I knew you were getting something silly I heard you searching around in there. Hi, Gretchen.
Hi, Gretchen.
So would you like to tell everyone how your week has been?
Full of work and coming home and entertaining this one because she needs social interaction.
I appreciate you. I try not to be needy. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because sometimes slow motion is a lot funnier than when you do it fast paced.
No. I mean, so I think we mentioned in the last stream that one of my new hobbies is watching AJ game. And
He lost it.
so when he gets settled for the evening, I will go into his room and watch him play a variety of video games and get more upset than he does about some of the stuff that happens as he's playing.
The anxiety is not limited to myself.
Things are better. I finally got most of my meds and I'm getting over pink eye.
Uh-oh.
In the time of La Ronda.
That's full-time work and doing entertaining day. Yes. Yes, it is.
What games does he play? Well, I bought him games for his Nintendo Switch for his birthday.
I love RPGs and platformers. So for when I got my Switch, they came with Mario Kart, which I also love, certain racing games. She got me Mario Odyssey. She got me Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I'm angry I got you that one now.
It was such a bad ending.
Oh my god.
And what was the other one? Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey,
and Luigi's Mansion 3.
and Luigi's Mansion 3.
Okay, good. Yeah, because we went through Mario Odyssey relatively quickly, and then we got to the end, and I wanted to flip tables. My T-shirt? Fish fingers and custard. That's it's a Doctor Who reference.
The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith.
My doctor.
And I am wearing the current 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker.
Have you caught up with the Who?
I have.
Okay.
I think I told you where they said that she's the...
Oh, right. I wore this shirt to work once when I was in New York. And
they thought she was placing an order.
No, I got in trouble for it because we had we had before we moved to the 6th floor, we had basically a casual dress code for work, but I think the thing was they said no graphic tees, but I had a blazer on over this, so it
doesn't look that graphic.
Yeah,
it's just print.
Somebody clocked me for being too casual with
Did you clock them back?
Casual dress code. You're so bad.
Come here, I got your clock right here. Clock in, clock out. Like Miyagi.
Clock in. Okay, you know what? My partner in crime is a Whovian. He has a coat like the 5th Doctor. You can tell other Whovians because their comments are complimented.
Fifth. That was Peter Davison with the celery stick.
Celery stick? Oh.
Crickety cricket doctor. The one whose daughter married David Tennant.
Right. Cricket.
Yeah, because it looks like he plays cricket. And he actually did in his series or season. Tenure. I don't know. Do doctors have tenures? Is that just teachers? Professor? One companion did call the doctor Professor. And it was Sylvester McCoy's doctor.
Mm.
And his companion was Ace. She called him Professor.
Professor.
She also enjoyed blowing things up. She knew how to make explosives.
Wow. Yep. I got him a celery pin for it because the one friend went, oh.
Aww. Yeah, celery pin is way better than wearing actual celery because that stuff goes bad eventually.
Don't we know it? Yep, AJ's full on Whovian.
It's funny. Doctor Who. Wait, are we going off topic?
No,
Sorry.
we're good. We're continue.
Before Doctor Who, I was a big fan of a sci-fi Henson TV show called Farscape. Loved Farscape. And then as it was ending, getting canceled and being forced to end, my bestie at the time, one of my besties at the time, convinced me I should look into Doctor Who, that it's the kind of TV show that I would like. It's sci-fi, it's British, it's quirky, it's adventure, it's funny, and I should check it out. And for a while, I didn't even bother until I caught an episode on Sci-Fi Channel, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is the best show ever. It was the episode Blink with David Tennant, and while Martha Jones was a companion.
Mm-hmm.
Love Martha. And he knows that, or knew that if there was a show that was going on that I would end up liking while in the middle of it, I will be the geek to go all the way back to the beginning and want to watch everything up to the point where I've caught up, not realizing the show began in 1963, and I would have a lot of catching up to do from classic Who to present. But I don't know if I ever told you, he had an ulterior motive for that too. There was a girl that he was chatting with that loved Doctor Who, and he had no idea what the show was about. So he knew that if I got hooked, I would tell him all about it, and then he would have discussion material for his date.
See, I wish a guy would do that.
What, trick a gay man into a TV show?
And you thank him for it. No, I mean, like, remember when I told you I saw that one thing on Twitter where the guy was like, I was so into this one girl and she was really into astrology, so I went and had my birth chart done, or whatever you witches call it. I was like,
whatever you witches call it.
That's exactly what he wrote. And I was like, I would love for a guy to do something like, if I'm attracted to him, let's not get carried away. Because if you say I would love for a guy to do it, and then the guy you don't want to do it does it, and people get mad at you for rejecting him. But it's like, I want a guy to like me so much that he does something completely out of character to impress me.
I did like Martha too. I thought that she was underused as well.
Have some more Pepsi, please?
Sure. You've tried this one before, right?
What is it?
The 1893 Pepsi Cola, original cola. And it's got like...
Does it have cocaine in it?
Well, not that much original. Boldly blended cola made with cola nut extract, dark brown malt flavor, a touch of aromatic bitters, sparkling water, and real sugar.
Okay.
So I did like Martha.
Tastes like the Old West.
I didn't really like what they did with her as far as her relationship to the doctor, because, you know, he was still just getting over Rose and she was loving him or falling in love with him and he wasn't even paying attention. So I thought that was kind of cruel, actually. And then you got Donna. And I loved Donna because, first of all, I love... oh, God, I love her so much I forgot her name.
What a time to lose it.
What a time to lose it.
Catherine Tate?
Catherine Tate. I thought that she was great. She was funny during the Bride episode, which was only supposed to be a one-shot, and people loved her so much that they brought her back for her own season. And what I liked about the relationship with Tennant and Donna is that it was a doctor. It was a reboot Doctor Who segment, because reboots in Eccleston, where the doctor had a companion that he was not romantically attached to.
Right.
It was like a buddy best friend kind of relationship thing, and the way that they would like compliment and quip at each other, I thought that was way more entertaining than Rose Tyler.
Well, look what Molly just said.
What did you say? There are so many shows and I didn't know where to start. Unpopular opinion, I do not like Rose. Yes! I only liked when she was possessed by Cassandra. True, she had more personality when she was possessed by the last human on Earth than being an actual human from Earth. The only thing that protruded in her career were those teeth.
Oh,
Stop. I went there. I'm sure that Billie Piper is a wonderful actress in other things that she's done. I did not like her tenure as Rose. I did enjoy it more with Tennant than I did with Eccleston, but she's not my favorite companion. In fact, I actually liked her when she wasn't Rose, when she came back during the 50th anniversary as the Bad Wolf. So that was entertaining.
I liked my experience going to see the 50th because I went to see it in a theater. I forgot where you were, but I went to see it in the theater.
It's probably at work.
And it was with this guy that I don't even know if I can say I had a crush on him. It's one of those things where I will like a person and just want to be around them all of the time because I'm so fascinated by them. And so he put up on Facebook that he had an extra ticket to go see the 50th anniversary episode. And I was like, I'll go see it. So like we went in and he snuck in chocolate and wine, sat in the theater drinking that. I was talking to Cameron.
Cameron?
Yeah.
Who's Cameron? Where's Cameron? Oh. If you just want to check out the show, start with Christopher Eccleston. Yeah. A lot of people want to skip over Eccleston because he was only there for one season. And then there were lots of things that circled around Eccleston's leaving the show. He didn't want to get typecasted. He had some issues with how the show or the studio was being run and so on and so forth. So he only had one season, and that's why you don't see Christopher Eccleston in a lot of the Doctor Who specific events and stuff. He didn't even come back for the 50th anniversary when you knew that John Hurt was about to, I was going to say Digivolve.
Oh my God. Wrong show.
When he was about to regenerate into Eccleston. But yeah, even though some of the episodes are they're a little rough to watch. Yeah. Like that plastic thing.
Oh God, no.
That was his first, that was the first episode.
No, I think that's one of the first episodes you showed me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
It was a bit rough to watch. Some of them are, but without Christopher Eccleston's first season for the reboot, we wouldn't have had Captain Jack Harkness.
No, not at all.
Which is where we first got him, and he's a fun character too. So yeah, I would say I would agree with Molly. If you don't want to go all the way back, I would suggest as well going back to the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston. He's only got one season, and the beauty about the Doctor Who seasons is that they are not like American television seasons. They're not like 20-something odd episodes long. Without the commercials, they're at least like 40, 45 minutes apiece. Mm-hmm. And you get maybe anywhere from 11 to 12 episodes in one season and a Christmas episode.
Right.
So you can fly through them pretty quickly. And if you don't want to go and watch all the way to the beginning with William Hartnell's first Doctor, which the format for that TV show made me cry. It's always good to watch the very, very first episode with Hartnell because you're getting the mystery of the TARDIS for the first time and time travel and who the Doctor is, and it's great. But, and I think you saw this too, they made a docudrama explaining or telling the story about how the show was created, the adventure in space and time, or an adventure in space and time. And they have these actors who are playing, all the people who put the show in motion and whatnot, including who I can never remember his actual name, who played Mr. Filch in the Harry Potter films. The guy who played Mr. Filch, the janitor, the crotchety old man in the Harry Potter films, they brought on to play William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor. And he did such a great job that during one of the Capaldi's Christmas episode, where he apparently met his first incarnation, they brought back that actor again to play the first Doctor,
Oh, okay.
which was really great. That was Capaldi's last episode.
Oh, okay.
So, all fun. I'm a geek.
We love that sweet.
Sweetie.
Sweetie.
Aye.
So let's talk about.
Ooh, Captain Jack. I didn't like Torchwood, unfortunately. Yeah. They neutered. Are you sure they neutered him? Because he was ready to fuck a fire hydrant. Oh!
You're fine. You're fine.
Oh, what did I say? I said bad word.
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. Just keep it to a minimum.
It's like they said about our friends. He was like, "Love to a birdhouse."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
while we're on the subject of TV, can we talk about
No.
the lackluster, anticlimactic moments that dominated this third season of The Masked Singer?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Do you want my opinions about this?
Of course, that's why I
Okay.
asked. Let's talk about it. AJ and I AJ more than I do. He sucked me into it. We're avid watchers, big fans of Masked Singer.
Molly got it right.
Too many people, because this has been going on since right after the Super Bowl, and it feels like it took even longer.
Because they had 18 contestants this time, and they broke it into 3 groups.
Yeah, that was
which
too
then
much.
they finally broke it into a final 9, and then they kept on doing the regular show from that point. It felt like it took forever.
Mhm.
Not only that, but it felt like they were reaching, thinking the larger amount. Hi,
It's pancakes.
okay.
Bound and leap, and of course bound.
That I felt they thought that the more celebrities they had on the show, the better it would be.
Mm.
But then you had all these people who, like, they sing
That's
that.
so good.
Well, okay, so Corey, if you hear him on the side, he's talking about the best part of that show is that as the finalist, the winner, was getting unmasked.
Oh no!
They cut the streaming service cut off, and all you see is
Thank you. Your free trial is up.
your free trial is ended. To continue your subscription.
Please log into your account, subscribe. No! I feel like that's my favorite quote of you.
That was
Just
no.
Yeah.
Just you reaching
the
towards the
various-
TV.
The
Just
various versions of no. They come from no.
I think
No!
it was like you did it in slow motion too. You're just like. Like if you reached, you could grab Fox
And
back.
then like you just see the
It was great.
That was probably the most entertaining thing about the show that wasn't even on the show.
and Terrence Howard.
And then that he thought who was
the frog.
The frog. He always thought the frog was Terrence
Whoop
Howard.
that trick. Whoop that trick.
No. Did you notice last week when they did the reveal and no one but Nick knew who she was?
I didn't know that. Well, I will say one thing, because out of the entire season that we just got, and then all the way up to this last episode, the biggest question I had was, where did the Night Angel's British accent go?
Mm-hmm.
That was last night.
Yeah, last night. No.
The last night.
Oh, yeah.
The last night.
Yeah, the last night. Yeah. I was going to say last night. It was 2 days ago.
Pika.
Oh
No!
Did I reach off for the TV?
Yes,
too,
you
didn't
did.
No!
As if you could snatch it back.
Oh, God.
It was too.
That was too
much.
perfectly timed.
They tried to fake it, but you could tell they didn't know who she was. No, there were just too many people that we didn't care who they were.
Yeah. I made a comment about that earlier in another conversation where, they have that song they sing, like, who are you, as they're getting unmasked, and then the mask come off, and I'm still asking the same question.
It's like,
Like, who are you?
Who is that?
Who it is?
Because like, yeah, you're gonna have. I don't mind them having YouTubers like JoJo Siwa on there, but like the random folk that they had on there, it's like TV legend. I'm like, who is this?
I'm also upset that. Would you like to finish it?
Finish it? No, I was just gonna have another sip.
That's all that's left.
You gonna make me do a spit take all over my webcam? But like, yeah, that one did the Rhino. Like when he got unmasked, I was like,
Oh, the baseball player?
I was like, he's cute, but who the hell is he?
I thought he was a baseball player. You know what he said? Yeah.
He was on Jack.
And he was on Jag.
Ken's favorite episode. Excuse you, madam. Put that damn sock down.
I don't know. It was just like,
And then you had the like either the what is it when rigged, either a rigged vote or some stupid ass dumb ass. What can I say? What can I say?
you say yes.
Okay, when I say stupid, stupid, stupid people voting to keep Gronkowski the White Tiger on there longer than Dionne Warwick and Shaka Khan.
I'm still mad the frog made it as far as he did.
Yeah, especially considering this is a singing competition and he rapped the whole way through, but then admitted he's not a singer or he can't do ballads, so he know that he was just going to stick to his guns, and it was his performance value that kept him all the way to the end.
I love Ken. He and they have great chemistry. They need to get rid of the others and just have them. Yeah, well, I enjoy Robin Thicke.
I like the special guest panelists that they bring on sometimes.
But like Nicole Scherzinger
Nicole Worcestershire.
getting emotional every time somebody sings a ballad. Like, come on now. And falling in love with the tallest contestant. Like,
Yeah, wasn't she dating Thingamajig?
so I think they need to go back to.
She likes him tall. She likes him funky.
I think they need to go back to only 12
Yeah.
celebrities.
I don't even remember how many celebrities they had in the first season. I want to say it was less than that, like maybe 8.
Something like that.
Anywhere between 8 and 12 can be considered good television. Because when they brought in like the 12 contestants in the in season 2, even though there were like maybe less than a handful of people that I didn't recognize, it didn't feel like it went on forever.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy that, one-on-one SmackDown thing that they would do to see who would continue on. So they had their fun moments. But this time, I feel like this time was an overload, and I got tired out from Masked Singer. What?
Simon Cowell tweeted today a performance on America's Got Talent of a man who had been falsely imprisoned in Louisiana 37 years for bloop, bloop, and was exonerated by DNA. He was in Angola. Oh, okay. Oh, don't let the sun go down on me. I cried. See, the thing, because
Head tilt.
AJ and I auditioned for American Idol one year.
And then
AJ and I
Voice.
auditioned for the very first season of The Voice all day in the bitter cold in New York City. The best thing about that day was I think we all got free pizza because it had taken longer than they anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
And then the meeting the dude that danced to the slow version of what in the butt.
That was hilarious. What in the butt?
I said what, and he starts like dancing on the wall. Like I said what in the butt. I was like,
We got there at what, like 7 a.m.?
Early. It was really early.
It was super early in the morning. We were there for hours.
Oh my God.
All the way into the late afternoon, just so we could stand on a stage, like maybe the length, like the size of like 2 coffee tables put together, to sing 3 notes and for them to say thank you and then sit down.
Yeah. It is like the people, like there was a guy ahead of us that sounded exactly like Josh Groban.
Yeah.
And he sang, I think he sang Feeling Good. And they were like, yeah, thank you. I'm like, what?
Yep. And I was going to sing Rainbow Connection. And I was going to take it from the bridge. And I was going to put my own spin on it. So it was almost like, whoa, thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
I was like, I hate this. I truly, truly hate auditioning for these shows. And the thing that's gotten me through it is that those shows really don't produce stars.
Nope. Not since Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah,
Because
like,
everyone else has just disappeared.
pretty much. Except for like Jennifer Hudson. But like those aren't even the winners. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's the one thing that makes me feel sad. Like when Daniel wants to do that, I'm like, please don't waste your whole day auditioning. He's like, but the exposure. You'll be on a direct
do not
to
want-
DVD
yeah.
film. Actually, maybe straight to streaming these times. But
Yeah. It's like, Daniel, I love you, but maybe exposure for stardom is not something that you want to do.
I was like, because I remember, nobody remembers the first person who won The Voice. And remember, it was a black dude. And I saw him on tour opening for Adam Lambert. So, Rainbow Connection. Molly wants to hear you sing it.
I want to hear it. I love the Muppet movie, one of my favorite. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. Ooh. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the Rainbow Connection. Oh, the lovers. It's not a rainbow, but dreamers and me.
I just love that you were like kicking your feet, even though they can't see it.
Yeah, they can't see it. Well, that's like anything that I do performing wise is just takes over my entire body. Like
Sure.
when I would puppeteer for the children's ministry back at night,
Cool.
at Times Square Church, even though I'm like operating the puppet up here and everything and moving the arms and whatnot, even if I'm voicing the character and I'm supposed to be happy and sad, it's all pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
We already pre-recorded the audio track, and yet at the same time, if the character's still sad, I'm doing this thing. It's just all one piece.
It's all connected. I get it.
It's one rainbow connection.
There was no. Never mind, because I know what you're gonna say. If I continue, I'm not asking for permission. Never mind. Oh God. I do like that. I miss that. I miss when we would go to karaoke and you would sing Rainbow Connection with all of the different voices.
Yeah, so there would be times where I would flip between my voice and Kermit's voice together as if we were doing a duet. And then one time, because I remember doing this long ago for singing as the cast of the Muppets Lady Marmalade.
Oh yes. Yes.
But I can't rap for my life, so when I got to Missy Elliott's part, I just did the Swedish Chef. Oh, not Missy Elliott, Little Kim. Sorry.
Missy Elliott produced it, but
stuff. So I started just maybe a year or so ago. If I was asked to do it, I would sing Rainbow Connection as the cast of the Muppets, and everybody that knows me knew that I could, mimic Kermit the Frog. So as soon as I get to the first verse of The Lovers, the Dreamers, and me, take a verse, Fozzie. And then I do this with the microphone. So sad that every wish would be heard and answered. And everyone's like, So it was fun. I had my fun.
Jen from Jen. Did she mention that in the video that before she found her hubby, she put in an application for The Bachelor?
Way back before her hubby.
Wow. I would have never guessed.
Who's my favorite Muppet? Oh, that's a toughie.
Such a rough question.
It is.
Why would you ask that?
I'll tell you what's not my favorite thing about the Muppets.
Here we go. See what you've done?
I will tell you that since Henson died, God rest his soul, and B, Frank Oz left, nothing about the Muppets has been right. Because I remember okay. Please, okay, please. I'm going to tell you something. As a Christmas present, friend of the family, la familia de Juan, took me to see the Muppet Christmas Carol in the theaters. And I saw the trailer for it. I was excited about it. It's one of my favorite Christmas stories. And to see the Muppets doing it after, that was the first movie they did after the original three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I remember sitting in the theaters, excited, all heck. And as the opening credits were rolling up, before even the title appeared, all I saw was, in loving memory of Jim Henson, a Brian Henson production, A Muppet's Christmas Carol. And that's how I learned Jim Henson died. So you're seeing me like, hey, Muppet, 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 in loving memory. Mm-hmm. No. And I cried throughout that entire film. Oh. And then as soon as I'm crying now, and then as soon as I saw that, I realized what Jim Henson is gone, and then Kermit comes on the screen, and I'm listening to him like, that's not Jim. Who is that? Who dares? Like the lamp, not the rat. I'll tell you what, though. With Jim Henson's unfortunate passing at that time and the Muppet Christmas Carol coming into play, that sparked a fantastic hosting duo between Gonzo and Rizzo.
Yep.
Because they were freaking hilarious and I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after Jim Henson died, a lot of the characters, especially Kermit, just didn't seem right anymore. There was a certain spark that was gone. And then when Frank Oz left, and we have the Piggy of now. Yeah. Frank Oz, in an interview, described Miss Piggy's personality as a truck driver trapped in a woman's body. And you could see it.
Yeah.
Because the beauty about classic Miss Piggy was, yes, she always played off that she was more than she was. She didn't speak proper French. She would muddle it with Spanish when she was trying to be fancy. And she could be like over the top, extravagant diva, and at the same time, like trip and she's like, oh, click, oh crap. And that was what made her faults and her quirks just beautiful. But I just feel like ever since then, whoever took over Miss Piggy's role and gave her updated personality is just playing the diva part, and it gets lost on me.
Yeah. Not everything is for us, and not everything that's gold can stay.
Mm-hmm.
I always wish I was a Miss Piggy, but I'm a Fozzie. No.
There's nothing wrong with being a Fozzie.
Not at all.
He was the heart.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing I liked about Fozzie is that he was He was simple,
Mhm.
courageous,
Yeah.
and loving. Because even though his jokes were terrible and he knew he was going to get heckled, he did not stop from getting on that stage and doing what he loves.
Ah.
Waka. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Not at all.
Oh, you ate the ice too?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
No.
Is that why you wanted a light snack?
I just wanted that.
0 calories?
Stop it. I like to eat ice.
Rolf is my favorite, though. I'm a Jew that can't tell a joke. I guess, yeah, he kind of was. He could come off as Jewish, Fozzie.
Well, what do you think? Well, you already said it. You think it's when after Jim died and Frank Oz left, that's when things started really taking a turn?
Really taking a turn. Because, okay, my opinion about the most recent production of The Muppets, the TV show that it came on, and they felt like it was, a lot of people felt it was just a bit too adult, and I agree. I mean, you have the Happy Time Murder movie, which was, adult humor with puppets. And even though it was Henson-styled puppets, it wasn't directly related to Jim Henson's company. In fact, I think they called it, the spin-off company was Ha.
Yeah, Henson
Like,
Alternative.
Henson Alternative. But I felt like, the reason classic Muppet Show is so timeless is because, first of all, the creativity that went into it, the writing, the humor, the timing, the acting, even with just the puppets outside of the special guests that you would have on the show, I think is what makes it just as entertaining now as it was then.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jim passed away, and they tried rebooting,
Mm-hmm.
reformatting when they did Muppets Tonight, which was similar to the variety show idea, but turning it into like a Jay Leno kind of late night variety show or something. And some of the episodes were funny. I mean, I one of my favorite ones is having Prince on there,
Right.
and I miss Prince.
Yeah.
Very
glad I got to see him live. But I think the thing with it, and sorry to interrupt,
No.
I think the thing with it is, it seems like, I mean, yes, you have to evolve with the times, you have to
Mhm.
stay your best, and it's sad that a lot of people feel that they need to chase trends, but you also have to go with, like, I feel like, especially with the Muppet Show and things like that, you have to look at the era that it was in television, what was big at the time.
Right.
What was really big in the 70s were variety shows. What was really big in the 80s were late night TV shows. So now you have these sitcoms that in the late 1990s, early 2000s had this, renaissance.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why
they want to catch that wave.
Yeah, and it was a bad wave.
It really was. It
Because
crashed right back up to the beach.
First of all, I was misled. And I will tell you why.
You were lied to.
I was lied to,
Betrayed.
tricked, hornswoggled, because when they were advertising the new show, The Muppets, they redid the classic theme.
Mhm.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like it was all multicolored televisions on one screenshot, and each one had its own Muppet, and they were kind of like beatboxing or using their own voices to sing the original "It's Time to Raise the Curtain, Light the Lights, Meet the Muppets." And I'm thinking, we're getting the Muppet Show back. It'll be a little bit modern, but it's the Muppet Show. This is awesome because it's something that the TV has been missing. And then they turned it into this hybrid format of The Office and Modern Family, where it's a mockumentary, pretending that these Muppets, these characters, had real lives outside of the TV show. That the only thing that, even though I didn't like this piggy, was that she was a female who had her own TV show, which they made a point to bring up, is like she's the only female talk show or late night show host in the realm of television at the time in the world that was created for this Muppets. So that was cool. But everything else was just felt like it just fell through a trap door. And I had this conversation with, I forget who, because what they said the same thing that you said, that, you know, following with the times, trying to evolve and keep up with everything else. But the thing is, don't do that.
Yeah. Certain things just cannot be plopped into modern times and fit that medium for that time.
We already had The Office. We already had Modern Family. We did not need that version of the Muppets. We had plenty of late night talk shows, what have you. We didn't need Clifford being the late night co-host to Muppets Tonight, even though it was a step up from what we just had with just the Muppets. And so the one guy that I was talking to, he was like, well, yeah, they're trying to keep up and evolve. And they're, you know, that's what everybody needs to do in order to stay relevant. And I'm like, no. If you look at the history of these characters, even, you know, after Jim Henson had passed and now that Frank Oz isn't on the shows anymore, although he will apparently plop in on Sesame Street to do Grover every once in a while, which is nice. But I always thought the point of a TV show, especially if you wanted to pull the attention of audience members in, is to be unlike anything that is currently on TV now. Otherwise, you're just regurgitating like Hollywood, making the same movies and TV shows over and over and over again. Okay, so yeah, in my opinion, the best format of the Muppets was the original Muppet Variety Show. And who's to say, especially with today's streaming services or regular cable or what have you, amongst this cornucopia of reality television and competitive television shows.
Oh my God, can we talk about Ultimate Tag in a second?
And yeah, we will talk about Ultimate Tag in a second. And, you know, why not bring back a classic format of a variety show to an era where it currently does not exist?
Right.
I think it would just be super entertaining, something different that the younger generation never really got to experience unless they had really good parents raising them properly and showing them the original Muppet Show. I salute you. But heck, I remember when Muppets Tonight came out, and I wasn't a big super fan of it, but my one episode that I thought would be hilarious to watch is if since Kermit and Clifford were both running the show, because they're both co-hosting, and how funny it would be if one accidentally booked Britney Spears and the other Christina Aguilera, and both of them would appear on stage trying to outstar each other until they end up breaking into a fight in the last number, and Miss Piggy just jumps in and takes over and claims all the fame.
Right.
I think that would be hilarious if it was, you know, done well. Because like I said, the one thing that I liked about the original Muppet Show was the timing, the talent, and the writing. If you put all of that together to make a really good, unique show, people are going to want to stay and watch it.
The sad thing is, and it's the same in any realm of media, it's like it's like, why, like, again, like you said, Hollywood making the same type of movie over and over again, because, and that's why nostalgia is really big right now, is they're afraid to invest in new.
Yeah.
They're like, let's just stick to tried and true, because that's what seems to be making money.
Yep.
And that kind of squashes creativity because it discourages people from wanting to try anything new, to want to pitch anything new. When, like, the message is simple. Like, if you give us good story, we don't need all the bombast, then people will tune in. I enjoyed the movies too.
The three originals?
No, the Muppet movie with Jason Segel, and, you know, Am I a Man or a Muppet? That one. And then Muppets Most Wanted.
I liked Muppets Most Wanted more than the Muppets.
Facts.
I thought that was it was really good.
I think that's probably the best format for the Muppets at this time would be movies.
Yeah, especially now that Walter only appears in the new movies.
Yeah. So, but who are we? We're just the public.
Yeah, what do we know?
So yes, let's go back as we're talking about reality TV and trying to fit square pegs in round holes and make money. Let's talk about what came on after Masked Singer this week. Ultimate.
By my calculations, I was able to pull off that flag in no time.
Ultimate Tag. Like we had been.
I'm gonna get myself another beverage.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Since we'd watched Masked Singer from the beginning, so when we first saw the first commercial for it, we're like, this looks interesting. So we've been waiting for it, and so this past Wednesday, it finally premiered. And treat for me, because there's a guy that I follow on Instagram named Travis Beach Boy. He was one of the taggers in the arena, and I was like, this is it. It looks like a even more sanitized version of American Gladiators because it's not like there's no pugil sticks. It's just with one big obstacle course. The thing that I feel like I was misled though, because I felt like there would be like all this more tension from it being like you have to not only get past these taggers, but you're also trying to tag somebody else. Like I thought it would be more like interaction between the people running the course and not the taggers. Ultimate Tag I'm like, we were into it. We're like, let's see what this is about because
I think the only thing that actually made the show for us was our own commentary on the side.
That would be the only reason I would watch it again. Like, let's see how we can MST3K this. Like, I could barely, like, Travis is really pretty to look at, but he's not buff. Like, he's cut. He's got a great body, but it's like he doesn't look strong. And then you have like these behemoths of men and women who are also taggers. And it's just like, bruh. I did like the flow though. The flow was probably my favorite. I'm not even going to talk about the big deal. Because it's a family show. But I felt, I was underwhelmed is the word I was looking for. I felt very underwhelmed. But like the people running the obstacle course, the contestants, some of them were really interesting. Like the guy that won, like the 39-year-old dude from Los Angeles that ended up winning, I was really surprised. It felt like he was a come from behind win because I was rooting for Naeem because he seemed like the most athletic. But I was wrong. I liked, of the taggers, my favorite was the flow because his parkour was unmatched, undefeated, and it was so smooth. And he was quick too. I was blown away by how quick some of these people were. That was exciting, but some of it was just like, and then we noticed like there were parts that like they showed you just the highlights of, like they filmed, and then we're like, all right, and this happened while we were out on our break. Like, you know, this isn't live. But it's like, so why are you showing us highlights? Like, why could you not just show it to us? I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch a whole season of it, and I predict that this will probably be a one and done. Like this, that's what that's gonna be. Since when is this a family show? That's not what I signed on for. Trying to keep it a little clean. I'm surprised my live from last week is monetized. But we'll wait for AJ to come back to give us more of his commentary on Ultimate Tag. You know what I've been thinking about too is like I don't know what TV is going to look like for the networks because they haven't been able to film. Like a lot of productions shut down in February and March thanks to Miss Rona. So I'm like, what is TV gonna look like in the fall? We should have a watch party of something, either with Netflix. You know what? I'd be down for that. I'd so be down for that. I know a lot of my friends have done that, where it's like they'll watch a show and they'll all just watch it together on Zoom. I'm like, I'm never invited to these things. Hey, well, Natalia, I wasn't expecting you because it's late out there and I know you were exhausted today. Oh, but hi, honey. Your costume change?
Yeah. I forgot how tight that shirt was, and it was starting to bother me. And besides, since you're 11th, I'm 11th.
That's a good question. I fear we'll get a lot more of the reality shows.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what is fall TV going to look like for the networks? Because a lot of productions have had to shut down.
It's going to look like a fall. It's going to look like
A fall. You weren't even going to try for that one?
No. I'm risk tripping all over myself. Have a nice trip. See you next fall.
Uh-huh. Jerk. But I mean, like, since a lot of sitcoms and other things, like, I'm wondering how they're going to combat that. Like, how are they going to continue to provide entertainment when they haven't been able to produce new material?
They might actually be forced to reach out to new writers, new civilizations to boldly go where TV's not
Like,
gone before.
we've already seen it. Like, there've been those commercials for, Celebrity Watch Party, and
Oy.
so Picard producers said as soon as they lift the ban, they're going straight into production because they were supposed to start filming in June. I'm just like, I know we're getting more shows probably that were way in production way before Corona hit, but I'm like, that was something I was thinking about because I know, like, for Netflix shows, like, production of The Witcher shut down. All of the Marvel shows that were going to be on Disney Plus, like Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, things like that, those productions had to be shut down. All of these movies, those release dates have been pushed back to when we can hopefully get back into theaters.
I'm a thirsty man. I'm sorry. What did I miss?
It depends on where California, LA are reopened. It's where we are. Usually they start filming around
Where we are.
well, we're in Los Angeles County, it's supposed to July and August, so there's a chance that maybe they'll start to get it does depend. Right now, our stay-at-home orders are
Still in effect.
So I know a lot of my faves are itching to get back to work. Chris, maybe not so much. He's happy, but he also loves what he does. So I know Scott wants to get back to LA, but he also loves being with his brother. So I know, but that's the thing. I think if I was an actor, like, if I had the choice to take a break, then yes. But eventually it'd be like, oh, I'm ready to work, especially if there's a project you were really excited to be working on.
Mm.
Like, Anthony Mackie loves playing Falcons, so he was probably ready to get back in there. And he and Sebastian Stan have a great relationship, so they were both ready to be like, yeah, let's continue our story. Let's get I got the shield now. What do you mean we have to stop production? I used it,
Falcon got caged.
right? And White Wolf went back to Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say something really bad. Well, it's like, yeah, Bucky in Africa, considering the era that man was from, was probably interesting. He's like, all of these beautiful black women, what do I do? It's not forbidden here, is it?
I know this might be a hard concept to accept, White Wolf, but we season our chicken here.
The other issue.
I brought potato salad.
Is that raisins?
Get out.
Damn it, Karen.
Oh, you said a bad word. You said that bad word.
Oh, and the other issue is now a lot of actors signed on to projects are now being replaced because they have other projects that are unexpectedly overlapping. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of Jesus Christ, man.
It's not like they can hear it. Can you hear it?
I hear it.
I miss it.
Oh, I love Popeye. But yeah, I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Never mind. Your loud slurping just derailed me. Mm-hmm. But like the trailer that I saw for Falcon and Winter Soldier had me very intrigued. So hope they get production started on that soon.
Yes, Winter Falcon. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's cold.
You're even ashamed of that one, huh? Nicholas Hoult out of Mission Impossible. I mean, yes, true. Why are they? I was about to ask why they're making another Mission Impossible, but because they keep making money. I contributed to the success of Mission Impossible 6 because they had Henry.
Oh, what am I drinking? San Pellegrino sparkling juice, pomegranate orange. Pomegranate orange. Can you see it? It's all shiny because of the light. And in reverse. Okay.
It's like, I don't think, yeah, she has. Who came up with peanut butter whiskey? I don't. The company that I have that I bought mine from is called Screwball. I found out about them on somebody on Twitter told me about them first, and then one of our friends back in New York posted about it. Patrick posted about it on Facebook, and then sent me the link to where I could order mine.
It is pretty good.
It's really good, and it's from San Diego, so I got it in 2 days through FedEx. I'm gonna have to keep that stocked.
And it's already been suggested to combine. Well, I thought about combining it with hot chocolate so it tastes like a warm peanut butter cup. And then Patrick suggested combining it with Bailey's Irish Cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend of mine from work suggested combining. There is no alcohol in that soda. Combining it with cranberry juice because it'll taste like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I like that idea.
So yeah,
All right.
great. Here's your lunch. I cut the crust off for you.
Oh my god. Oh goodness. But yeah. Why are you cupping it with both hands like you're a toddler?
Because I'm trying to see if I can stifle the sound.
No. No, you can't.
I beg your pardon?
I said
Can't.
The cake I made her was bunt. Okay. None of y'all play. Does anybody play? Because I want to discuss my disgust at the end of Mario Odyssey. So I bought AJ this video game for his birthday, Super Mario Odyssey, and have enjoyed watching him play this game until we got to the very end. Zing! I was so irate by the ending of this game.
That's not your toy. This is mine.
Yes. See, you already said, just don't stop. Leave her alone. Now you're terrorizing her.
She wasn't expecting it to move.
The ending of Super Mario Odyssey has me upset. Still
Should
upset.
I tell them the spoilers?
They're not
game?
going to play it.
Okay, so if you haven't played Mario Odyssey, don't listen to this next part. If you have, then this shouldn't be a spoiler. So the premise of the game, as any Mario game, is usually you going through all these adventures and fighting the bad guys so you can get to Bowser and rescue Princess Peach or Princess Toadstool once upon a time. In this game, you are going from world to world, or kingdom, sorry.
Kingdom.
Kingdom to kingdom that Bowser has attacked and ransacked to obtain a particular item that he can use towards his wedding to Princess Peach. That's right. He kidnapped her to marry her this time, forced her into a dress, stole a tiara that apparently is a ghost. The tiara is alive. And that's why you get a hat ghost that turns into your cat because it's got eyes, because that's his sister that Bowser took. And who, by the way, I'm sorry, will always be King Koopa to me. If you remember, King Koopa was his original name. But yes, Bowser. And so you finally make it to the end of this game, and you fight Bowser after he's about to marry Peach, and he's like forcing this ring on her, and
that's larger than her entire body.
That's larger than her entire body. And so the final battle, you're fighting Bowser. You win because you're the hero, and you're supposed to. And at the end of beating Bowser, Peach is freed and released and happy that she is rescued. And then Mario approaches her with a flower because all the same time you're fighting Bowser, you are dressed in a tux to crash the wedding. And you approach her with a flower, hoping that she will say yes to marrying you. And then Bowser wakes up again, and he picks up the bouquet he gave her, which is made of like all these piranha plants from the game. And he's still trying to get her to say yes. And Mario is trying to get her to say yes. And she is just overwhelmed and over all this macho bullshit that she ditches them both, hops on Mario's spaceship he used to get to her, and decides to start riding off in the distance by herself, about to leave both of them dumbass lizard and Italian plumber behind.
On the moon.
On the moon. I'm like, you're going to marry me. No, it's not possible. She's going to marry me. And then she looks at them and she's like, no.
And I'm sitting here like, this whole game, you've been sitting here, Mario. And then the minute he saves you, you're like,
bye.
Now I'm going to be an independent woman. Couldn't be independent to keep yourself from being kidnapped by Bowser. But now that you're safe.
Look at Molly's comment.
Yeah, I saw that. But anyway, I can't. It's just.
Corey wants us to pause for a moment.
Because apparently we said something interesting about this game.
We'll wait for you.
Here he comes.
Okay. So first off, with life and everything being the way it is this day and age, anyhow.
Yeah.
Are you really surprised that is how they chose to end the game? That the woman is gonna sit there and be like, "Oh my God, my life is in such turmoil. It sucks. Oh my God, save me." What do you mean? You're cute. Both of you. Peace out. Are we really surprised with the state of the world that that's how they decided to end the game?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because there's still such a thing as fairy tales that that people consistently put out.
Right. Super Mario is
A video game. Shut up. Over there.
Wait, you
I'm
said
gonna teach your dog to hunt.
wait, you said first of all though. Does that mean you had other points you wanted to make?
I made all my points.
Oh, I thought there was more.
The cake I made him was a bun.
Hey, better not call me a cunt.
Oh,
Yeah, you can't.
didn't get okay.
Me Too meets Mario. It's gross. It's gross.
I will
was like,
say
"Oh,
that
dumbass."
the graphics were nice. It was
a beautiful game.
game.
But just to, yeah, I know we did that. But just to, you could have done anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else.
I remember.
And the reason I'm surprised it ended that way is because there is a history there.
Yeah.
There have been in many incarnations of that game, like the will they or won't they.
Yeah.
So it's. I ain't gonna lie, I never got why Mario cared so much about Princess Peach, unless they got a thing the entire time for her to be like, "Nah, I'm good." That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this man
Well,
has
she
done.
was a princess. He is a plumber.
Can you make it more obvious?
I think it had something to do with like mushroom heads and clogged pipes. I don't know. It's just
What is it about cloud?
Boomba.
Okay.
I know there's many ways you could spend your evening. Thank you for choosing today.
I'll see you in the morning. Sir. Yeah, like how? That's what I'm saying. Like it's like, well, and I get it. Like maybe they're
I
trying
tried
to.
using it on pancakes. It wasn't the same as with Brutus.
She's just like, she's got fire in her veins, dude. She was attacking me.
That's not news.
Freaking sassy ass senorita.
I don't even know what I was about to say.
I think you're responding to something.
Yeah, and now I remember. It's like, are they trying to avoid a Lois and Clark where it's like that you spent like all of these seasons with them, like maybe being together, and then everybody feels like once they got together, the quality of the show went down?
I guess they feel it would change something about the magic. Because remember, like throughout the entire Muppet Show, going back to the Muppets, Kermit and Piggy were always like, are they an item? Are they not? She loves him, and does he love her? Who knows? And then you have the Muppets Manhattan. That was the second or the third film?
Second, I think.
Second, I think. Muppets Take Manhattan. Yeah, they're all college sweethearts, and there is that they are a couple in that film, and then they end the film with them getting married.
Mm-hmm.
But is it a real marriage or not? Because it was on stage, literally staged.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end the whole movie with them at the chapel. Everyone's cheering. And so he says, the music ends with, what better way can anything end hand in hand with a friend? So like, are they married or are they not? Princess Peach and Mario, there are feelings there. They clearly care for each other, but it's going to be like, oh, ah!
Didn't even hug him. There was no hug. There was
Well,
no
they've
kiss on the
never
forehead.
had PDA in any of the games. No hugging, no hand holding. It's always been like, coy, like, oh, ah. That's
I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it.
Oh.
I hated everything.
A princess.
I hated everything about that ending, and it just made me angry. So angry.
Meanwhile, Luigi's on the side, like, really, guys? Kiss her.
That game is so frustrating.
Oh, Luigi's Mansion.
I'm not even playing these games, and I'm getting stressed out.
And I'm the one behind the controller trying to get through it.
It kills me when you're like in the boss fights
and I don't know what to do just yet.
That's when you're the most vocal. You're like, no, come on.
And other choice vocabulary that will not be.
You could be
repeated.
chill through the entire gameplay. As soon as you get to that boss fight,
There was this one room that I kept dying in because I couldn't figure out what it was that I needed to do. So I was getting increasingly frustrated, running out of like continues, almost to that game over point. And I had one audience member who was on a whole other level, thanks to was it your friend Margarita?
oh my gosh.
Or something, and so
Yes, it was a Margarita.
her friend Margarita was helping her enjoy this gameplay on a whole other level, and I'm getting frustrated. I'm like Yosemite Sam, like rackin' frackin' freaking jiggin', reeking frackin' varmint, and oh dang doobity doo. And meanwhile, this one is they're sitting right next to me. It's like maybe you should, and hee and hoo 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 and party. And at the end, I was so tired and drained from the experience. She's like, "Are you finished playing?" And I'm like, "Yes, get out."
Because I kept. People are trying to petition to make another Super Mario Brothers movie, but with Louis Guzman and Adam Driver. No.
Who's Luis Guzman?
Um,
Or is it Louis Guzman?
I think it's Louis Guzman. You know my accent sucks.
Louis Guzman? Excuse me, Mr. Batman?
Shut up. Oh. You know what, y'all? I hate you. I love the fact
I
that
have my phone. I'll look it up.
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I have so many friends that send me. I love it when they tag me and like. There's been a lot of Chris Evans media coming my way. So if you've sent it to me, I thank you so much.
As Mario? Him.
Yes, him.
No. And who was the other suggested one?
Adam Driver.
As Luigi?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't know. Are there any legit Italian comedians out there that could play those characters?
I have no idea. They need to be. Well, I mean, they just need to be from Brooklyn. I don't get the obsession with Adam Driver. I saw him on Broadway. He's a fantastic actor. I don't know why everybody wants him in everything, always, forever, and ever. And
Who would
amen
you
for
cast
now.
if you could recast a live action Mario Brother movie? Mario and Luigi. As he's wearing a Mario shirt. I was just trying to think of somebody, and I don't know, I couldn't.
If I knew Hollywood, I would say they would cast Seth Rogen as Mario and like Chris Hemsworth as Luigi. Because they would fuck it up.
Yeah,
Screw it up, sorry.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, they would mess it up. If I was casting,
Yeah.
I think I would cast Seth Rogen as Luigi. And
I don't know who I would cast as Mario. As bad as the original Super Mario film was, the only thing that I really didn't like about it was what they did with King Koopa and the Goombas and everything else.
The Goombas are the stuff of nightmares.
They are. But I rather enjoyed John Leguizamo as Luigi and what was that actor's name?
I know who you're talking about.
Dennis Hopper? No, wait, that was somebody else. No, Dennis Hopper played King Koopa, didn't he?
No, I'm talking about Mario.
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah. I liked those two as Mario and Luigi. And it was funny because throughout the entire film, when they're after Daisy, I completely forgot that there was another princess named Daisy. I'm like, I thought
Daisy
everything
gets
was-
no flowers. She gets no
None.
shine.
they damn.
I can't even think of who I was cast as Mario. There's nobody I can think
They
of.
just need to make it CGI and leave it at that.
They would have to like animate it or CGI or something, and then just like cast like some big name.
Let DreamWorks do it. DreamWorks and Nintendo.
Yeah, like that's like honestly, because I can't think of anybody, honestly, outside of Hoskins who I think who could really do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't, because those kind of actors aren't around anymore. They don't make like
Right.
those kind of actors don't get work. At least not like big name.
Yeah.
Like look at what's his nuts, the guy from Superbad, and
Oh! Yeah. Oh, well, he's not heavy anymore.
Jonah Hill.
yeah,
Jonah
Jonah
Hill.
Hill. Like look
He
what
still
he
thickums.
Is he?
Well, I mean, he's pudgy.
Yeah.
He ain't like he went from like hey to hi to so like I mean yeah so but I mean like look what he had to do to like even kind of like keep getting work that wasn't funny fat dude number one.
True.
Like they don't cast those guys.
No,
anymore.
Danny DeVito is too old to be Mario
Way
now.
too old.
That's what Natalia was suggesting.
And Bob Hoskins, honestly, I even think would have been a good Wolverine had they cast X-Men back in the day.
Mhm.
Because he's about the right height,
Right?
Yeah.
and he's like burly enough. He was burly enough to be believable.
Somebody just popped in my head and now they're gone.
Russell Crowe, that'll be Mario.
Get Liam Nielsen! I see you have a bomb there.
What's her name from Pitch Perfect? Fat Amy. Fat Amy be Mario.
Rebel Wilson?
Rebel Wilson be Mario.
Oh my god. Oh wait, no. What about that other dude?
She'd be like, what? Oh, what? So Mario always has to be a guy, huh?
No, that other comedian from Pitch Perfect. What
I know
is
who you're
his
talking
name?
about. The guy,
They're going to remake
Boomer?
it because
Is that his
come on
name?
now.
Rooster or whatever, the guy who was like.
They've been talking about remake. They're
He
remaking
did a movie with Zac Efron.
Mortal Kombat, so they're not gonna just leave well enough.
I
alone.
think so, yeah.
He did a movie with Zac Efron, the wedding.
Wedding
date
Crashers
or
or
wedding date or.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
come on.
Yeah, I can see him.
Somebody need wedding dates. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see him. I can see him being Mario.
Oh, there we go.
But Hollywood would cast some like tall, like
Adam
Adam
Devine.
Devine. Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood would cast some tall, ridiculously good-looking person to be Luigi, and it would just ruin it.
No. Oh,
I'll tell you, I think Seth Rogen would be a great Luigi.
who's McLovin?
I hate him.
Okay.
I don't remember
So not
his
him.
name.
I know who you mean, though.
The actor.
Oh yeah, that kid.
What about the actor
The
who?
kid in Superbad, the other skating one.
Is that what was
From
his
Scott
name?
Pilgrim Must Die.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Because I don't like Michael Cera only because he always plays the same. What do they call it?
His same role, Loser McDipshit.
Loser McDipshit in every film that he does.
You've also just described Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
that's true.
Nicolas Cage in the role of Nicolas Cage as
So what about
Ghost Rider.
the guy who voiced Hiccup in
You lost me.
hold on. How to Train Your Dragon cast. He also did a Disney movie with Nicolas Cage, The Apprentice. Or The Magician's Apprentice. Come on, hurry up.
Are you talking about the guy from She's Out of My League?
Is that him?
He was also in Knocked Up. He's the one who walked into the delivery room and was like, I shouldn't have gone.
I can't remember.
I think so, yes. Yeah, him. What about him as Luigi?
No.
No?
No.
Compared up with Adam Devine?
Mm. I think they would just go Ghostbusters with it, and it'd be Maria and Luigi.
Luigi.
Luigi. And Luigi would be a black chick.
I hate you so much.
It'd be like
Leslie, what? What's her name?
It'd be some big black, big
Leslie
black
Jones.
Leslie
Luigi.
Jones as
Yeah.
Luigi.
I'm telling you. Tell me I'm wrong.
You would.
They would. It would be Rebel Wilson and her adopted. It'd be Maria and her adopted sister Luigi.
I can't.
Hi, Brian.
I'm going to go play car tag.
Car tag?
Yeah. So basically, you take so they set up a grid and you go and hide in your car somewhere, and then like the person who's like goes around tries to find you and then like flash the light at you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Whatever you need to do to entertain yourself.
these quarantine days, man.
All right.
Okay.
As long as it's not drag racing.
No,
Be careful.
No.
Have fun.
I'm gonna go find Maria and Luigi.
Get out.
You know it's true.
Get out.
You know. Go ahead, everybody, do me a favor and tell them it's true. Maria,
Boomba. It's like a movie, you know.
Hashtag-
Boomba.
I want to see it. Hashtag Maria and Luigi.
Super
Welcome.
Mario Sisters.
Get out.
Don't tell me what to do.
I
What was his name? Oh, that's McLovin. Christopher Mintz.
Christopher Mintz.
Plus.
Posse?
Plus. I think it's plus.
I know you heard that.
No.
I said, it's me, Luigi.
Luigi. Get out of here.
I can't.
Oh.
Jay, something.
So we're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that at all. Oh, goodness. What else should we discuss this evening?
Well, let's see what's on here.
Yes.
Hi,
Brian's here.
Brian. Hey, where's Brian? Where you go, Brian?
Why'd you become Jamaican
Brian.
all of a sudden?
McDaddy says Ray Romano if he were fat. Someone just left their turtle shell here, huh?
Oh my God. And now you're being summoned. Corey.
Yes, Corey. Bye. We hang up on his ass. That's what we do.
I love you guys so much. I'm glad we... Oh, good.
Bye.
Laura, I love you guys so much. I'm so glad I've gotten to tune into 3 of these. I'm glad you guys here. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
How do you
Is it-
solve a problem like Maria?
Molly's already prepared. Did you read it?
Yes. Sweetie, my voice is so shot right now.
Shot.
Oh my God.
It's a song.
It's a song. I promise an elongated karaoke session next week. My voice is just off the chain today.
No, I agree with Gretchen. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
sad what happened to him, but that show is still a great
It's
show.
still fantastic.
It's like, he went to Baltimore to
And
have big fun
fun.
with the wretched. Isn't that right, Vanessa? You had big fun. Let's see. What did you have to do for big fun? You had donuts. Oh God! Shout to the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name.
I used to.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
I used to love Bon Jovi. Like my brother and I would sing "Living on a Prayer" together. You over here distracted by the pancakes?
I think she's probably not too happy with me. She doesn't lick
I
my
wonder
hand
what's-
anymore.
I wonder what
She started it. This.
She's a baby.
Come here. Come here. look at this face. Look at the face. Look at it. She's the babies, and she ticks me off. But she's okay. She's cute. That's all she's got going for her. She sheds everywhere. She
needs a bath.
She sprinkles her selfness
Okay, puppies.
everywhere. I can say that this whole, or at least most of this living room, in her case, is a waste of time.
Uh-oh. And Princess said, square up.
Oh, she's ready to pounce.
Come here.
Yeah,
Do you have Zoom? We should have a virtual happy hour karaoke dance party.
Ooh. That'd be fun.
I would be down for that.
Karaoke dance party. Is that where I sing Hey Macarena and everybody knows the moves? Hey Macarena.
Hi.
Ah?
Oh, Lord. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this one up.
Why? Because it's not long enough?
No, it's definitely long enough. I just feel like. Don't you start. I just saw that big yawn. Meow. Meow. Oh, Natalia. She just came back. Yeah. I love the looks that you do for those Zoom parties, Natalia. I would be down for that.
How
You know
fast
what I
do you
need
have
to
to
do?
run for a Zoom party? You have to be quicker.
I need to figure out how to screen record because when I get my Skype calls and Zoom calls with the people that I've asked the universe to let me Skype with, I'm going to need to record that for my videos.
Is this happening?
They're just staring at each other. But like when I have my Skype call with Chris Evans, I'm going to need to be able to record that. So I have to figure out.
That'll be in 3D. Reach out and touch.
I'd be terrified. I mean, I don't know if like getting the notification for him to want to speak out to me, like I would scream, but it's a shame. I would never thought that would happen.
I don't know how an interview with Chris Evans in person would go.
I'm talking about just, you know what?
Oh, Corey.
Corey is still on his Maria and Luigi. Anyway, no, I'm just talking about on Skype. Like, I'm not even putting out, sitting down with him in person yet.
Yeah, you rolled over.
Like, I know I wouldn't be able to have a conversation with him in person just yet.
Oh yeah. So how do you feel that your career has grown over the span of your first film to now? It's like, well, I would be happy to answer that. I'm just curious as to why you're cupping my chest.
I would not do that.
It's like, well, your career. It's grown.
Stop.
Since you were younger.
If my first of all, I'd be wondering how he got my number, but oh God, like I'd be terrified. Like I'm gonna do a video telling the story time of when I met Zachary Quinto, and I'm even surprised that I got the words out to him. But
he's a gay man,
but
that you have no crush on.
it was still hard for me to say something. Like if I met Neil Patrick Harris, I'd be nervous as hell.
Yeah, but it'd be nervous, like, oh my God, I'm so happy to meet you. I love everything that you've done. Oh my God, you're Neil Patrick Harris, you're Zachary Quinto. No, but if it is a sexy, straight celebrity that you have been crushing on
Since
and
2015.
since 2015, it's gonna be like
I
even remember your birthday. It was so and such, but all I could get out was
That's why I'm asking the universe to let me meet him via Skype first. He's got people. God, like, can you imagine, like, if let's say he sees, because he saw the memes with him with the acrylic nails.
Chris Jamal Evans.
I'm so terrified that if I got that Skype call, I tweeted about that. Like, if I got that Skype call, his full name is Christopher Robert Evans. I would be so afraid that I would call him Chris Jamal Evans. I'm like, you know about
It'd
that.
be a
right?
great way to break the ice.
What was your first? Oh, okay. Here we go. So I had seen Not Another Teen Movie when it was in theaters. So that was my first Chris Evans experience, but of course I didn't know Chris Evans as an actor at all. So I'd seen
Whipped cream.
I had seen Iron Man. I'd seen all of the movies in the MCU, including the first Avengers movie. And then we with
Oh.
why is he calling us when he knows we're still on the stream?
Yeah. Where is the video chat?
Just hear me out. And somebody mute me.
Huh?
Okay. Just hear me out. Okay. So, Maria is a poor white girl in an orphanage who gets adopted by this black family, right?
Corey.
Named Luigi. Wait. And what happens is that, like, their family gets kidnapped, right? Their family gets kidnapped, and they go in there going to fight Koopa to find out. And then Koopa drops the bomb. Check this out. Where have you been all my life?
Oh my God! Turn it off.
Bye.
I cannot stand him.
First of all, if they were going to get a sister to play the sister, it probably wouldn't be Luigi because it just sounds weird.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Forgive me. Don't get mad.
Don't say it.
What if it's Maria and Luisha?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Laquita or something.
No, because
But
Luisha is closer to Luigi than Luigi.
that's true. Anyway, what was I saying?
And Maria is Spanish.
Okay, so I had seen all of the MCU. He's going back to when I first got into Chris. So
Don't get mad. Don't say it then.
So I'd seen all of the movies in the MCU, all of the Iron Mans up to that point, all of the Thors and things like that, and I even saw the Avengers movie. So when we, as a group, with GGNY went to see Age of Ultron, we're sitting there in the theater, eating popcorn, sipping on drinks, and it's the scene where they go to Clint's farm, and Steve and Tony are chopping wood. And they're arguing because this is the scene after Ultron has been created and it starts wreaking havoc. And Steve is scolding Tony for trying to prevent war. It's like most times when people try to prevent war, they end up creating it. And he's scolding Tony for his role in the creation of Ultron. And they're going back and forth. And Chris picks up a log and rips it in half. Now, yes, it's movie magic.
Bare hands. But you know what? Those muscles ain't no movie magic.
I literally sat back. I was sitting next to AJ. I sat back and went, oof. And that was the moment I was like, I need to find out more about this Chris Evans person. I had not paid attention. And what really got me about him, like after I started doing my research on him, because I think up until Ultron, he was on we talked about this last week, the boy crushes and dudes I just want to have a beer with. He was the dude I just wanted to have a beer with. And then after that scene, I was like, he deserves his own Pinterest board. And as I'm looking through pins, I see pictures of him. I know he dated Jessica Biel for 5 years. And then true. And then I keep seeing him, like, it's confirmation that he has dated some of his Black female co-stars. And I was like, what? Chris Evans dips into the chocolate? I have a shot? It's literally like, I don't even, it was literally that scene though, where I was like, really? And I can tell, like, with my Facebook memories, that it was 5 years ago when Age of Ultron went up, because I can see all the posts that I put up, like pictures I put up of Chris, and I'm like, I've really been thirsting after this man for 5 full years. Oh my God. So, Jessica Biel is white, but there are pictures of Chris, and there's a video of him shooting his shot at a black chick at LAX, and like literally, like you see her, he's like leaning, he's talking to her, he gets her number, and I'm like, oh, and there are one of my friends who's connected in the business.
Can't make milk chocolate without milk.
He said that he dated Denai Gruera for a little bit.
Who?
Okoye.
Oh, I didn't know that was her real name.
Yeah, he said that he, like, right after he broke up with Jenny Slate, she said that they tried to date, but they were like, we're better friends, so that's why. And then he went back to Jenny Slate, and then they broke up. Funnily enough, like I mentioned before, he and Jenny Slate broke up around the same time I broke up with my last boyfriend. So, don't know what the universe is trying to say there.
Dear future husband, here's a few things you need to know. Please don't check my phone, B.
Oh my God. Chris will he can never see this. Like, I just showed you, like, that's a picture of him and his dog on as my background. He can never see my phone. He definitely is, because that's how he was raised. His mother, like his whole family is basically the Von Trapp family singers. They're all theater kids. Like, I think one of his sisters teaches theater in New York City. What?
I totally misread Molly's comment where he says, "Isn't Jessica Biel?"
Oh, because
white?
I said that there were pictures of Chris with his black female stars.
Yes, but my brain from this distance read that as, "Isn't Jessica flat white?"
No, because she got ass, but
Flat.
but like, even like watching her, like, if you watched my video on Cellular, which she's in for all of 3 minutes, and all she does is pout at Chris's character, I'm like, were they dating when this film was made? Like, or was this how they met?
Well, she could only be in the Cellular film for 3 minutes because they didn't call after 9 o'clock, so she couldn't afford to be there.
Oh, I made that joke. I made a comment about the minutes, because Chris his character makes a statement when the kidnapped woman is on the phone. He's like, "You're wasting my minutes." I'm like, don't you remember where you had to worry about minutes? Like, when you had to choose your plan based on how many minutes you were going to have?
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm getting the 800-minute plan or the 1,000-minute plan. And then it's like, call me back. It's free when my minutes are free after 9. No longer. Long gone are those days. But that's how, like, the funny thing is, like, that movie came out in 2014. Or no, 2004. I'm sorry. It came out in 2004.
It came out in... Oh, okay.
The movie so, like, cell phones were just becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
So it's like to the point where it wasn't just for rich people. Like, normal people had cell phones and everything.
I miss my Razor.
But I never had a Razor.
No?
I wanted
my
one.
favorite flip phone.
Yeah. I always had to get a plan with Free McSee. And that's how much of a throwback that movie is. And that's the thing. It's like, Chris was always buff. Like, the thing that I'm realizing as I'm going through his filmography, he's always had an amazing body. So I'm not, because he likes to work out. Not to the extent that they had him doing for Captain America, but he stays in shape. So I'm like, okay. One of the reasons I'm trying to slim down.
Chris Evan Chesticles.
God, that man's so beautiful. Anyway, so that was my moment for him. Like I said, but I was still in love with Henry Cavill until he started making all of those stupid remarks, and then Chris became husband because he is a feminist and he knows when to shut the fuck up.
And Robert Downey Jr. is Theo.
He was a good Human Torch. I cannot wait to rewatch those movies. After Snowpiercer and Defending Jacob, I'm going to go back to randomly picking the movies out from my cup. Even though before Snowpiercer came out, I was going to do Gifted, but I'll put that back in the ring. And then
What's Gifted? Is that a Christmas special?
in Gifted, Chris plays an uncle to a genius child, and her mother, his sister, has passed on, and he's fighting for guardianship over his, I think it's mom, because he wants his niece to have a normal life, even though she's a mathematical genius.
Prodigy, right?
Yeah.
That's the term.
And
I was gonna say
grandmother.
prodigal. No, that's something
That's
else.
something else. And the grandmother is like, no, she needs to go to a special school. She's supposed to have this kind of life because this is the kind of life that her mother would have wanted for her.
You need to
So-
stop, girl. You are not getting this.
It's like, I'm not a fan of Henry Cavill, so my vote is for Chris. That's the much better choice anyway. Why don't you like Henry Cavill? I still dig him. Like
These ratings.
I still adore him. He's not a great actor. I hate to say that, but I only say that because he's become a Jason Statham to me. And I make that comment in my cellular review. It's like Jason Statham is one of those actors who plays the same character in every movie he is.
Like super action
Yeah.
stuntman.
And Henry plays the strong, silent hero. Even if that hero is not called for it. Looking at you, Superman. Like, Superman is not supposed to be, so stone and stoic. He's the big Boy Scout. He's always smiling and fighting for justice, truth, and the American way.
And even like from comics to Christopher Reeve's portrayal of Clark Kent
Yes.
was brilliant because he put the whole thing he was a charming Superman, but when he had to put on the hat and the glasses, like, oh well, yeah, okay, yes, look, like he did that magic of the geeky to the hero. Henry,
They gave you a glimpse. The only glimpse of Clark Kent they gave you was just him having the glasses on. They didn't have him in character as Clark. When he was Clark, he was a hunk. He was shirtless and just like maximize the beefcakeness because he was always shirtless. Even in Batman v Superman, where he has that scene with Amy Adams, it's like, I'm going to take off my shirt, show off my ripped abs.
because that's what'll get the butts and seats.
He was not a good Superman, and the movie was dreadful. I didn't see Batman v Superman or Justice League. That's why I said Superman isn't broody. He's shucks, ma'am. See? And what kills me is that
Martha.
Zack Snyder put Christopher Reeve's costume on Henry.
Did he?
There's a picture of Henry for a screen test in Christopher Reeve's suit. And I'm just like, they tried to give him a sense of humor in Justice League, where he comes back from the dead and has jokes. I'm like, you're gonna let him smile? Yay! I mean, he smiled a little bit in Man of Steel, but yeah, he was broody the whole time, and like he was a bartender. It's like that's not meek and mild mannered. That's long suffering when people are like pouring beers over your head and stuff. And then he has that act of aggression where he royally dismantles the truck, and it's like
Pancake. Here.
so it's just I did not like Batman v Superman. The only times I liked is when Wonder Woman showed up. Because that whole, yes, we've had that discussion where it's like, there's a reason there's animosity between Batman v Superman or Batman and Superman, and it's not because this is disgusting. If you want to make an Injustice movie, make an Injustice movie. Don't try to inject that storyline into something else because you're trying to chase that Marvel dollar.
That storyline, alternate universe, the Justice League on our Earth. What was the one that they had? Was it the Injustice League? Where it was Ultraman and Superwoman, Owlman.
Yeah.
It was like all the Justice League characters, but in a world full of evil. I can't remember what they were actually called,
I can't remember either.
but that was.
But
a
I
good
mean, like,
storyline in
if
the
they
comics.
wanted to do, you know, Sinister, like, I think he's a threat. Like, if they wanted to do that storyline, they should just make an Injustice movie, like,
Yeah.
based on the video games.
Yeah. That storyline was good.
Like, if you wanted to do, like, if they wanted to make these deep, dark movies, or then take the deep, dark storylines that you guys have, I would pay money to see an Injustice movie.
with
Henry playing that Superman, hell fucking yeah. But
Yeah.
and maybe Ben Affleck as that Batman. But they tried to do also Batman did not say yeah, there was too much about that movie. There's too much about all three of those movies where it's like it's basically looking at what I compare those movies to is that video that I'm seeing on Twitter of a guy asking a girl out and she's like no, and he keeps trying.
Wow.
Because it's like they keep trying to. They just tried to copy Marvel. I don't care if you hate me for saying that. They saw what the success that Marvel was having and decided that we need to do that too.
Princess.
And it's like you guys. I know people will fight me and say that Zack Snyder is a good director and he's a good writer. He could have. I'm so sick of these things where it's like everything has to be so based in reality now. Yeah, Wonder Woman did.
And I was
Because a woman directed it.
And I was looking forward to the new one.
Yeah, but you know, Miss Rona was like, y'all gonna wait. But it's so weird. It's like, why? And that was Zack Snyder's take. It's always, but Marvel had the same thinking too, but they decided, like, what if heroes existed in our world now? Like, how do we make them fit into our society?
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Make fantasy believable.
yeah, and I get that. It's like, you can let things be magical. You know?
Stop it. Stop eating the rug.
Area rug.
Stop. Pancakes. Stop it. Come over here.
It was like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were dark and did well, so they tried to make everything dark. Yeah. I'm like, Superman, unless you're doing Injustice, should never be dark.
Yeah.
But Henry can't play dark. Or no, he can play dark. That's all he does.
Mhm.
Strong, stoic.
Witcher.
Yeah. It's like he's a strong but silent type. I don't know how to show emotion. And when I do, it still seems like I'm stone-faced. Maybe I'm popular, but Kevin Smith would actually make a good DC film. Kevin Smith has done a lot of good within the
He
DC
named
universe.
his child Harley Quinn Smith. And she appeared on Supergirl.
Yeah. Like
he
Kevin Smith,
directed that episode. It
Kevin
was good.
Smith would do very much justice because he's a comic book fan. And he's not ashamed to tell you about it.
It really does help the productions to have people who are actually fans of
The source material.
the source material. Because when you get people who do not know anything or care at all about the source material, what movies do we get? Gem.
Oh my God. How dare you say that?
Because this is a perfect example of what happens when you get people. Michael Bay Transformers. I am still mad at Michael Bay when he admitted in an interview that the only reason that he killed off RC the way that he did in part 2 of his Transformers saga is because he didn't know much about the character and he didn't care for it. Never mind, this is like the first female character that we ever got in the original Transformers cartoon. And he's like, you know what? No, bomb. Kaboom. Didn't care. I'm Michael Bay. I make things explode. I make millions of dollars, and you go to see my stuff.
And he says specifically that he makes movies for 13-year-old boys.
That's why he has all these Megan Foxes in his films. But yeah, if you don't care about the source material and you're going to make a crappy movie, like Gem, like some of these Transformers films, nobody asked for. But when you listen to the fans and you are a fan of the source material and you want to make sure that the fans are happy, you get a delightfully fixed gem, pun intended, of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
We just saw it recently and we're in tears laughing. It was accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It was well written, well done. Jim Carrey, I love seeing him in a comedic character role again. And he was a great bad guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you're listening to the fans, you pay attention to the fandom, you are yourself a fan.
Well, see, there's a fine line to walk there because as I was reading through Twitter today,
Yeah.
a lot of people were upset, or they're like genuine Star Wars fans who are upset at the movies, not because they think they're bad, but because like when The Force Awakens came out,
Yeah.
like you saw all of these pictures with like Finn with this lightsaber and everything.
Oh,
And
I thought
everybody
he
was
gonna
like,
be a Jedi.
he was supposed to be, they're like, he's supposed to be a Jedi. And the word on the street is he was supposed to be a Jedi, but fanboys got their panties in a twist. And they were like, no, because they couldn't be a black Jedi. It's like and somebody said it
But what
brilliantly.
about, wasn't Samuel L. Jackson a black Jedi?
But you know, you can only have one. Like we gave you one, so there you go.
Oh my God.
But somebody else said it's like they feel like oh, it feels like they felt like they had to choose between having a black Jedi or a woman Jedi. It's like we could have been good with both, but
It sounds like the Clintons and Obamas all over again.
how would someone who never played Sonic or watched the show fare watching the Sonic movie? I feel like you wouldn't have to know the game
Yeah.
in order to enjoy the film because it's just that
Because
enjoyable.
At the beginning of the movie, they do give you a brief, like, little baby Sonic moment explaining that, he was born with this power that he never understood, but he always had it. So he had to keep it secret from people who would try to, like, take it for themselves. And essentially that was the premise of the whole film, because then you have the villain, Dr. Robotnik, who finds Sonic's power and wants to claim it for himself. It was all just, simple but well done.
Yeah. And I think that's what I like the most about it. It's like it wasn't this big, like, convoluted thing. It was so simple and so straightforward with very overt but
Yeah.
heartfelt messages. It's an enjoyable watch. It's a fun film. I don't think that you would have to have been like all up in the Sonic lore in order to understand.
Yeah.
It's fun if you do, because you can catch the Easter eggs and be like, oh, they can do that. Oh, I know where they got this from.
And you'd be going into an understanding of who Dr. Robotnik or Eggman is from the get-go, or who Sonic is. And should I mention the Easter egg at the end?
No.
No, okay. Other characters that you would probably recognize from the video games or the cartoons.
Right. And we all know who I am, but the only problem I had with it is, okay, first of all, I love James Marsden. He doesn't have his own Pinterest board, but I love him. And
he got hotter.
He aged like fine wine.
Yeah.
I want to know who gave Daddy the permission to be that hot.
Daddy Marsden.
Whew. But his wife in the film was Tika Sumpter, who is a beautiful Black woman. And I'm like, they briefly showed affection. I get it. It's a kid's movie. And
they only hugged.
Yeah, they like maybe kissed on the lips once. And then the rest was like fist bumps. And
that part was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
It's like, can I just get credit for the fact that the situation that you brought to my doorstep, I've been totally cool with.
Like, haven't overreacted.
Yeah, it's like,
like that moment was awesome. I was like, that's the kind of marriage I want, where you can tell like we're friends and we genuinely enjoy each other, that we have that kind of connection. We can do stuff like that. But it's like, and I get it, like the thing was supposed to be more towards like Sonic's relationship with him.
Yeah.
but it's like the whole thing was like her sister trying to convince her to leave him.
Oh,
And I'm like, I like that his girl didn't like it, like their blackness wasn't essential. It was just like that's just
who they are.
who they were. But it was like, hey, can we get maybe I'm just asking for too much to get some affection up in there. But again, that's not the point of the movie. But yeah, James Marsden, there's like him and like he's one of the guys like I'm surprised I'm attracted to, because like when he was Scott Summers, I wasn't attracted to him.
That's because he was skinny little
with
a visor. Scott, no, when he was Scott Summers, he did play it well, because Scott Summers is a very straight as an arrow, by the book, kind of bland, boring character. He's a great strategist, but other than
But
that,
haven't they like taken him through like hell and creation
in the comics?
In the comics,
yeah.
Yeah, like he
Because-
goes to straight and narrow now. There's like all
Yeah.
like he keeps going back and forth between being evil. He's been married to like 12 other people in 10 different dimensions.
He what do you call it? They kind of made him the new Magneto after a certain point, where he was branded a terrorist. But yeah, him as Cyclops, it was kind of like OG and whiny.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't very attractive. And then you had, how are you going to compete against Hugh Jackman? Abs, Canadian booty. Yeah.
Yeah, I want my Gambit movie too, okay? My
But-
Raging
but-
Cajun deserves a movie.
But-
Storm deserves a movie first, but I want my Gambit movie as well.
But not with, what's his face they were going to do?
Channing Tatum?
Channing Tatum.
I would have loved, because Ian Somerhalder is from the bayous of Louisiana, I would
Uh-huh.
prefer him be Gambit, because he could do the scruffy thing. He would actually be a very awesome Gambit, but
Why are you laying by the electrical sockets?
probably because it's warm.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Well, with the turn that the
but we'll see now that Marvel has
now that Marvel has
or Disney owns Fox.
yeah,
So
Disney on Fox and Marvel, so now they can make the proper X-Men films, and even better, the proper X-Men Avenger whatever crossovers.
right.
Like, oh, I don't know, A versus X.
I've had actual dreams about sitting down and telling Chris, because Chris admits that he never read comics as a kid. So his first experience was being cast as Captain America.
She found one of her.
Oh, she's
things.
playing. She's
Yeah.
playing. But I've had dreams about telling him like what Civil War was really about in the comics. I was like, yeah, it had nothing to do. It was about the registration of mutants, not a fight between Steve and Tony. Just so you know. But I understand movie Fox over here.
Well, Civil War did pit those two together, because Tony was for the registration,
Yeah.
where Captain America was against it, and he sided with the mutants and whatnot. So, but the mutants definitely were a big part of that too. So, the fact that they were not in the cinematic Civil War,
Well, they couldn't be.
they couldn't be. So, that's one of my favorite lines from, what was it, the first Deadpool movie? Still cracks me up.
That's
And it's like
this
this giant mansion, and there's only two of you in there. It's like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.
And I love that he made that joke, because like he had to make that movie for less than they were originally allotted.
Yep.
And so I'm like, but you know what I love is that I think because Ryan Reynolds has his own gin, and he's been making these commercials. He's been making like COVID-based commercials about his gin, because like I think from now until the end of this month, 30% of sales of Aviation Gin are going to pay the salaries of out of work bartenders.
Oh.
And Ryan Reynolds is so creative, and Chris Evans was like retweeted one of his commercials. He's like, how does this man know how to take any situation and make it fucking marketable? I'm like, because he's brilliant, and I need to see you two in a movie together. Just
Mhm.
saying. I don't know if my panties would survive, but
We'll stop off at Target.
there's a rumor that they, yeah, but I keep seeing because I feel like Ryan Reynolds, because he worked so hard to get the first one made, I don't think he would let that happen. Good night, Natalia.
Night night.
I don't think they would. I keep seeing things that they're saying that it would still be rated R. Because it has to be. It's Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds has the clout to be like, you know what, I can take my money and get this movie made elsewhere. But I don't know. I don't think they'll let that happen. Because we've seen in the past where like RoboCop, where it's like RoboCop 1 and 2 were R-rated, and then they made it PG-13, and people were like, you know what?
Did
No. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The first 2 RoboCop movies were rated R, and then the third one was PG-13, and people were like, absolutely not. What
Was
have
that
you
the
done?
reboot one they tried to do?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. I, for one, want to see more Josh Brolin as Cable. I'd never seen Josh Brolin in a light as when I saw him as Cable, and I was like, oh, he's ripped. And yay. Actually, I read a story about Walt Disney where he was, I forgot what movie it was that he saw. I think it was The Godfather. And he was like, I wish I could make movies like this, but I've painted myself, quite literally, into a corner by my company being known for these animated features.
Yeah.
So that's why like Touchstone Pictures, I think, came into being, because he wanted to make more mature movies, but because Disney was so heavily branded, they couldn't do it under the Disney banner, so they created another production studio. But we'll see. Whew.
It is now 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Yeah, this was a very long live, longer than I anticipated. So I know I have to get my booty up early tomorrow morning to wait for the to go get my mail.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, this is the last one because I haven't ordered anything since last week, and I think one of this is the package I was waiting for last week that I didn't get. But everything else is coming UPS. So we're gonna go ahead.
Don't even think about it, cat.
Trying to prevent my cat from jumping on our counter. But I think we're going to go. AJ, is there anything you would like to say before we sign off?
Don't do drugs. Only alcohol. We will try, I guess, to do more musical stuff next time.
Yeah, I'll have more energy, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, sorry. That was an accidental.
and hopefully my voice won't sound so raspy. It sounds incredibly raspy right now. Probably because it's
We're
late
both
for me.
tired.
Yeah, it's been a very draining week for some reason.
But we know there are lots of live streams you could have watched today. We humbly thank you for coming to Slay with
I have
side of
Zoom.
AJ.
I have Zoom. Find me and send me send me an invite, and we'll do a Zoom call. So stay safe and healthy. If you're here in the States, have a great Memorial Weekend. I know there are no barbecues happening unless it's just you and the people that you live with. Hopefully, please don't be ridiculous. Please stay home and stay safe.
Yeah, stay in, stay safe. Love you all.
Bye. Okay, so